Christian Mbilli is taking on Sergey Derevyanchenko in a 10-round super middleweight bout in Canada on Saturday. It's for the WBC Continental Americas super middleweight title. For those of you who are not familiar with Mbilli, he is a French Cameroonian who now fights out of French Canada. He's 27-0 with 23 KOs. I've spoken recently about fighters who are lead punchers as opposed to counter punchers, and I've also spoken about volume punchers. Well, Christian Mbilli is overwhelmingly a lead puncher. This guy likes to throw first, okay? He's highly aggressive. He's got loads of energy. He comes flying out the blocks in the opening rounds and just sets about his opponents. He's got good power, evidently, a very high work rate. He's obviously got good fitness levels, and there's a lot of hype about him, particularly in Canada. They think he might be the next big thing. I'll come on to what I think about him in just a moment. He's 29 years of age. His opponent is somebody who most of us know, Sergey Derevyanchenko, been around for quite a while now. Obviously, highly experienced amateur, had hundreds of fights. As a pro, he, I'm sure, is disappointed with the way his career has gone. Okay, he's now 38 years of age, as I say, 5 losses. So he's had 20 pro bouts, 15 wins, 10 by knockout, 5 losses, all on points. And the losses were to Danny Jacobs back in 2018. He then lost to Gennady Golovkin in 2019. He lost to Jamal Charlo the next year. That was also on points. Then he lost to Carlos Adames in 2021. He got a win in 2022. And then he lost again in 2023 to Jaime Munguia on points as well. Now, the thing about Derevyanchenko's defeats is that many, if not all of them, were contentious. In other words, many people believe that he actually deserved to win. He actually deserved to get the decision in a lot of these fights. And this could be crucial because Sergey Derevyanchenko is a relatively fresh 38 because he hasn't had a lot of pro bouts. Yes, he's taken his fair share of punishment in those fights, but there have been fighters who have had much longer careers that have taken much more punishment that have still been relatively fresh at this age. But the thing that I'm thinking about with Sergey Derevyanchenko is the psychological toll that these losses may have taken on him. And I'm not talking about PTSD or anything like that, right? I'm talking about how bitter and disillusioned he may have become because of the fact that he suffered all these losses, which he, I'm sure, believes shouldn't have been losses. They should have been wins. How will that affect his preparation moving forward? Will he be just as hungry? Will he train just as hard after suffering all these, what he perceives to be injustices? Or will he now just turn up for a paycheck because he doesn't think he can get a victory? He thinks the judges are always going to take it from him. Now, the reason I say this is because if it was Sergey Derevyanchenko at his best, if we could guarantee that that guy is going to show up on Saturday at his absolute best in his prime, and again, bear in mind he's 38 years of age. If it was the very best version of Derevyanchenko, I'd pick him to beat Christian Mbilli. I really would, because Derevyanchenko also throws a ton of punches. He's a similar height to Mbilli, but technically he's so much better. There's a lot more thought to where the punches are going, to where the punches are placed. I think he uses his jab better than Christian Mbilli. I think his head movement is better than Mbili's head movement. You know, Mbilli is not a bad fighter, but he is a guy that just throws caution to the wind. He's a guy who really trades on his fitness far more so than technique, his fitness and his physical strength and punching power. I think if Derevyanchenko is anywhere near what he used to be, and if he turns up with real ambition, I think it's going to be a very strange fight for Mbilli because he's going to have someone who potentially could meet him head on, who's going to be ducking underneath his shots and trying to push him back. Although, if need be, Derevyanchenko can box and move. So I think this one could be interesting, but it all depends on what version of Sergey Derevyanchenko turns up. Has he lost so much faith in the sport of boxing in terms of the officiating that he's no longer going to try as hard as he used to? Or is he still full of fire? Let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments section below. As far as a winner, I don't know, I'm sitting on the fence, because I don't know what version of Derevyanchenko we're going to get. And that's not to say he's been inconsistent, because up to this point, he's been very consistent. He turns up and gives it his all. But at some stage, the decisions going against you, time after time after time, it's going to wear you down psychologically, surely. But Mbilli, he's not somebody I'm particularly impressed with, to be honest with you. He's exciting, I'll give him that. He's an all-action fighter. But if you'd imagine this guy in the ring against David Benavidez, I know Benavidez and Morel have moved up to 175, but if you imagine him in the ring against either of those guys, I think it would have gone horribly wrong for him. And I think it would go horribly wrong for him against Canelo as well, assuming Canelo is still somewhere close to his best. Let me just say that. Anyway, give me your thoughts about this fight in the comment section below. Could be entertaining, if nothing else. Christian Mbilli versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. Yeah? Check it out.